Hi, my name is Piluso, and today we're going to be talking about what are the basic things you need to start recording. We're going to be using Arturia's Minifuse recording pack as an example. This is a video for people who are just starting out, so I'm also going to be giving you tips on how to record and how to use this equipment so you can have the best starting point. So the first things we need to start recording are a computer and a software. A recording software that will allow us to record, to playback, and to edit our sound. Regarding the computers, this is more of a personal choice, but I'm also going to leave you a video where I talk about different computers and the computer I have here at my studio. And regarding software, you can choose the software that relates better to what you need. Let me know if you want video specifically comparing different softwares. I personally use Pro Tools, but this pack includes Ableton Live Lite, which is a limited edition, meaning that it's limited. It has less amount of features, but it's good enough to start your own recordings and start to have practice. After that, to be able to input different microphones or our guitar or bass or synthesizers, we're going to need an interface. This pack includes the ARTURIA MINIFUSE 2, which is a basic interface which offers two preamps, which allows you to input a microphone. It also allows you to record a guitar or a bass, or record something that comes in at line level. To switch between line and instrument, we have a little button with a guitar next to it, which is very cute. And we have an independent gain knob for each of the preamps. Then we have 48 volts, that is phantom power, to be able to load a condenser microphone. More about that later in the video. Then we have our outputs that are L and R, that allows us to connect to monitors and have speakers to be able to hear and produce our music. We have a knob to control the volume of it. Then we have a knob that can switch between the input monitoring that would allow us to listen directly to the inputs without having to go through a software, which is great for rehearsals or if you just want to jam by yourself and not have to open a Pro Tools session or something like that. For that, we have a button that is called Direct Mono, which will sum both inputs into mono, which is great because otherwise we will listen to the one plugged on the left to the left and the other one to the right. And if we want to listen to both inputs right at the center, we can click on Direct Mono, but we have to have the knob fully to the left. And if we have it to the right, we will have the USB, which means that we'll be listening to whatever comes out of the computer, which can be from YouTube to your recording session. Then we have a headphone output with an independent volume knob, which is a copy of what comes out from the main output. Then we have MIDI in and out, which is a language used to communicate between instruments and controllers. So you can plug in a synthesizer from the 80s, for instance, and be able to control it from the computer, which is great. Then we have a function that I've only seen Arturia have, that's called Hub, which is great because it allows you to plug in the interface to your computer, and then you have this extra USB input called Hub, which allows you to free up other USB ports in your computer, so you can plug in, for instance, your MIDI controller like a Mini Lab 3 directly here and save room in your computer connections, which I love, and it works great. So a couple of things to consider. If you have two inputs, the cool thing is that inside of your recording software, like I said before, I use Pro Tools, you have to create two separate channels and just assign the first channel the first input and the second channel the second input, which can be also called L and R. So L being number 1, R being number 2. This will allow us to, for instance, have two singers, separate singers, recording at the same time, and then be able to edit and change the mixing and volume independently inside of the software. We can also record, for instance, I have a beautiful Taylor guitar, which has a great built-in microphone, so I can plug it straight here. And I also use another microphone to record it from the front, which is actually my preferred choice, but we can have both. Also, we can record a guitar and a voice, 2 guitars, a bass and a voice, whatever you want. There's lots of combination, also lots of synthesizers, like most of the Arturia ones come with a stereo output, so you would input that straight here.
Whispering a summer's day, I only find it drifts away to grey. The hours that bring me pain, tangerine, tangerine, living reflections of a dream. I was in love, she was my queen, and now 1,000 years between. Imagine how it used to be. Does she still remember times like these? To think of us again. Tangerine, tangerine, living reflections of a dream. I was in love, she was my queen, and now 1,000 years between.
The next thing is that we want to have some kind of monitor system so we can listen to what we are working on. And for that, the pack gives us a set of headphones. These are quite light headphones, but they are what they call closed headphones. So they fit really nice around your ear, and it allows the sound to stay inside and not come out. That's why they are called closed. If you want to know about open headphones, which tend to be professional headphones, I'll leave you a video up here. So this will allow us to record with a metronome, for instance, or a click track, and there won't be any kind of bleed. So the microphone won't hear the click. We will only hear it inside of our headphones. So that comes to another tip that is very important. That is that when one is starting out, it's very common for us to have played music live before. So we are accustomed to having a big sound around us. So one might be tempted at the beginning to record vocals with a backing track really loud coming out from the speakers, but this is not the best choice at all. So if you are starting to record, one has to start to get accustomed to how to get the best take possible. And for that to happen, we have to lower the knob of the monitors down to 0, so there's no sound coming out of our speakers, and we're going to use only our headphones. This will allow us to have a much cleaner signal, which is way easier to use when we are mixing and editing our vocals, for instance. So with these two things, and also a cable, forgot to mention that, the interface comes with a cable. So with these two things, we are able to produce music using virtual instruments. But if we want to record a real natural sound, we are going to need a microphone. And for that, this pack includes the CM1, which is a microphone built by Arturia. It's quite similar to the famous AKG 414, only in looks, not in sound, but it's quite heavy, quite nice, feels nice to the hand, and it comes with this, which allows us to suspend the microphone and have a little pop filter, which allows us to take out any kind of pop in our voice or S's or things like that. And for that, I have another tip, which is that I'm not a big fan of the pop filters being so close to the microphones. They help, but you will also need an external pop filter, which I recommend you can buy one anywhere. They are very cheap. And the thing is that this will allow us to eliminate and yes, lots of the big plosives that are generated by words. So what you want to do is just sing into the pop filter and maybe do a pop, pop, pop and feel where the air is. So you put your hand behind, and once you start doing like a T or a P or things with lots of air, you want to feel the air on the other side of your hand and then start moving it backwards until you don't feel any more air. And that's where the microphone should be. That will give us the best take possible. Another thing we don't want to do when we are recording with a condenser microphone such as this, that is a cardioid microphone, is to sing very close to it, because if you sing too close to the microphone, you have lots of plosives and S's and lots of problems, and it will also sound with a proximity effect, which will increase the low end, but it will give you quite an unuseful sound. So you want to be at a distance. These are not the same as dynamic microphones, which we are used to using in a live scenario. Those ones have less sensibility, so you have to be closer to them, and they are good for playing live. These ones are good for studio recording, so they'll be more sensitive. You can actually hear when you have it plugged in. You can hear if a door is being opened or closed behind. So that has also a negative, that if your room is not treated, it can be quite a nightmare to record. So I have a couple of tips for you for those kind of scenarios. So first of all, you could build a tent around you with sheets and bed covers, and that will help with the amount of reflections. Also, you can open up your cupboard and sing into your clothes, and that will make it sound much drier. Or you can get a couple of mattresses and build like a fort around you. And luckily, it also comes with a cable, so you don't need anything else to start recording. So you have everything you need to start recording. So you can put everything here in a backpack and take it wherever you want and start doing your first demos. This, of course, is for somebody who's starting out. This is not pro level, but it's a very good starting point. My name is Piluso. I hope you found this helpful. Leave me questions below. Leave me other suggestions you want to see in videos. And please, if this was helpful for you, if you leave a comment, a like, or even subscribe, it helps a lot the channel. Do whatever feels right for you. And if you want to know more about this studio and our services, I'll leave a link below. And also, there's an incredible function that comes with this interface that is called Loopback. That is great for streaming. I already made a video of it, so I encourage you to go and watch it because it gives you more digital inputs. So make sure to check that out. See you in the next video.